Hello and welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Sharon Olkin, and as Executive Director of Gateway Public Schools, I am so honored to have you all with us, to have this incredible and inspiring group of women here with us, including our mayor, London Breed. I'm just thrilled that we get to host this event today to kick off this exciting new project with Ignite the Vote. You'll hear more about it in a moment. I just want to say I'm a little bummed I didn't get the memo about pink. I thought I was making a statement, but it's the wrong one. I guess, yeah, we could be a box of Valentines. So I'm so honored to be here with you and to be part of this event today. We have a long history of partnership with Ignite here at Gateway High School. In fact, more than 10 years ago, Gateway High School was the first school to pilot the Ignite training program for young women to help them get civically engaged, to be part of the political process. We even have one of the students who was in that group is now a Gateway employee and is here with us today. So I just want to say, woohoo. But we're so excited for this long-time commitment and partnership that we've had with Ignite on behalf of young women. We know firsthand the incredible power of young people's voices, of Gen Z's voices, of women's voices. I mean, just look at this stage. We have examples right here. But we see it in our school every day, and we see it through our Ignite partnership. You know, one of the proudest moments I can remember as an educator came right here at Gateway High School in 2008 when we were here with our civic students on election night. Our whole senior class was here presenting about the election. They had done a voter registration campaign, and we were all together when the results came in and Barack Obama was elected. And to be with a group of students as they, for the first time, saw a political process that was representative of them, where they could see that their vote and their voice and their experience mattered, was one of those days that I will never forget. And I have a feeling that today might be another one, because we are kicking off this campaign to really engage young women, get them voting, get them in the political process. We see every day how amazing our women are and how far we can go with women at the helm. So I'm super excited. I am fortunate to get to introduce a longtime friend of mine who is now the head of Ignite. I'd love to bring up Sarah Guillermo.
Okay. Oh, it's still a COVID hug. Thank you, Sharon. We have known each other since 2008 when I graduated from my master's program at like the ripe age of 22. Such a long time. I have grown with Ignite and Gateway along the way. Good afternoon, everybody. As Sharon shared, I am Sarah Guillermo. I am Ignite CEO. I am so excited to be celebrating National Voter Registration Day with all of you here today, and really celebrating the youth vote, the transformative power of investing in San Francisco's young people and all of the young women across this country. Ignite, for those who are not aware, we are the largest and most diverse young women's political organization, training young women to own their civic and political power across the country. And we did start here in San Francisco back in 2010, and this was literally our first high school program, so it's really exciting to be here. Such deep, meaningful impact of everything we've been able to do over the past couple years. And as you're thinking about your student, I'm also thinking about Alondra, who I think also taught here at Gateway. So it's just like crazy kind of full circles all around as we are here gathered today. Since then, since 2010, we have expanded to 40 different states across the country, and we have been welcoming tens of thousands of young women each year into our programming. These young women have been tackling difficult issues because they know firsthand that this is what's happening in their communities. These are their lived experiences. We really want to continue to support them as they continue to have their voices heard. And this can take so many different forms. Being a political leader in this country can look really differently now. It can be running for office. It can become becoming a policymaker, a commissioner. We have a couple commissioners in the House today, or campaign staffers. There's a lot of campaign work to be doing right now. And Ignite continues to remain by our young people's side every single step of the way within their political journey to make sure that they have not just the resources, but also the networks and mentorship they need to unleash their power. I remember when the mayor first spoke with our young women, oh my God, that was like a really, really long time ago, and many, many more opportunities since then. But this is the kind of mentorship that we need to continue to see within our country. And as we know, we can't do this work alone. This is definitely a huge partnership and collaboration. We need partners like all of you to continue to share in our commitment to ensure that the next generation and all of its diversity has the opportunity to actually embrace their political power. Our future and our democracy depend on it. Those words couldn't have met any more today than they have when I was 18 years old. So that's why we've teamed up with a department in the city and county of San Francisco to bring the Ignite the Vote campaign to the city's high school, giving young women like Roseanne and Jemiah, who I'm so excited for you all to meet, the tools and know-how to mobilize their peers. These leaders are training their peers to really mobilize around their communities, and they are breaking barriers every single day. Oh, ladies, I'll welcome you back up later. It's okay. You're like, you said our names, now we are magically here. They're like, we heard our names. And so our mission here through the partnership with the city of San Francisco in the department and with Gateway High School is to make sure Gen Zers who are eligible to vote are actually registered and are ready to cast their ballot, not just in November, but ballots are dropping very soon, everybody, in the month of October, which starts next Saturday. And we know that Gen Z is the fastest electorate within this country right now. And this is a really huge chance for us to really embrace the civic responsibilities in this election. And we know that this generation is going to inherit all of the challenges that we are all currently facing today. Deep breath, that's how I feel too. So this voter registration day, let's encourage our young friends, our family members. If you haven't texted anybody yet today, please feel free to do so. And our peers to embrace their leadership and their voice today. Their voice matters. All of our votes matter today, now more than ever. So I am going to bring up our next speaker, the 45th mayor of, she's like, is that the 45th? Is that really it? Of the city and county of San Francisco, a role model for all of us here at Ignite, Mayor London Breed. Our efforts today to embrace political power of San Francisco's youngest constituents is a reflection and a result of your leadership, as I have been watching for quite some time, to create just a more resilient and equitable San Francisco for all. So I will welcome you up, and I will go this way.
Thank you. Good afternoon, I think it is. I've been up since early this morning. First of all, I used to go to this school when it was Benjamin Franklin Middle School. And when I walked through the door, I thought, oh my goodness, this used to be the locker room. This was where the girls' locker room was. The gym is upstairs, or was upstairs. I don't know what's upstairs now. But as soon as I walked in here, it took me back to my junior high school days. Now, I know you all are in high school, but I just got to tell you this story. I remember when we would get dressed, because we had, remember those uniforms where it had the yellow across and you put your name on it and you wear your shorts and you get dressed for the gym? So this is where we did all that. And in fact, I remember it takes me back to we all know that sometimes there's like, oh, the prettiest girl in the school, right? So the prettiest girl at Benjamin Franklin Middle School was Sarah Rodriguez. Not this Sarah, Sarah Rodriguez. Sarah always smelled really good, right? And I just didn't understand why she always smells so good. Well, in this same locker room was where I learned about this deodorant she was using called Lady Speed Stick with the pink cap. And what's interesting, I'm like almost 50 years old, and I still use the same deodorant, right? They discontinued it. I was so angry. I had to order it and find it, and I was able to buy a bunch of them, but I still use the same deodorant. And I know you all are like, why am I telling that story? I'm telling the story because that's why we're here. When we get young people to start their lives off, as soon as they turn 18, they're registered and they're voting, there's just something about that that gets you hooked, that makes you want to do that every single year, because we know how important voting is. And voting became so important to me because my grandmother raised me. She grew up just one generation away from slavery. She grew up in the Jim Crow South. And she would tell us how people would die when they would try to vote. They were actually lynched, they were killed, they were hung in the South. Not too long ago in the history of this country. So she would tell us those stories and why she took a lot of pride in going and showing up and voting. She wanted her voice to be heard. And that's why we're here today, because we know that a lot of times, even in a place like San Francisco, especially with women, where we make up the majority of the population, only 60% of women are registered to vote in San Francisco. And out of that 60%, only about 52% showed up to vote for the 2018 election. And what does that tell us? It tells us we have work to do. It tells us that we have work to do to support, educate, and motivate the next generation. Because if we don't do this, then we're going to continue to see those numbers decline. And then we're going to be stuck sometimes with the consequences of people who say, you know what, I don't make a difference. I can't do anything about it. You can do something about it. Whether it's making sure that your voices are heard because you're registered, or getting actively engaged in some capacity. Even if it's not as, like many of us who are really actively engaged, like we help. I was in Ohio, and when you talked about the election of Barack Obama, I went out to Ohio. I worked 2 months, and as soon as I heard those results, I got into the car with one of the other workers, and we fell asleep and didn't wake up until it was time for us to catch a plane and come home. I mean, I remember that day, and I remember how proud I was that I played a little tiny role in helping with that result. Why we're here today. Ignite the Vote is really about trying to aggressively make sure that we are doing our part to get people registered to vote. We're not telling you who to vote for. We just want to make sure that, especially young women, that you know we have power. We have power in our vote. And here in San Francisco, believe it or not, and actually when I was at this school, Ben Franklin Middle School, I played in the advanced band. Mr. Martins was the band teacher, and we played band regularly. We were known as the mayor's band, the first woman mayor, Dianne Feinstein, of the city and county of San Francisco. So who do you think was the second? Over 30 years later, me. So we have a lot of work to do, but I am proud that recently the district attorney I appointed is a woman, that the person who is the fire chief of the city and county of San Francisco is a woman, that our city administrator and so many leaders in San Francisco, over 55% of like our commissioners, our directors, and people who have a role in running this city are women. It is so important that we support, uplift, and encourage women and make sure that we know our voices can be heard too. That we don't look at ourselves as if we're not capable, if we're not good enough. Because I'll be honest, when I was at this same school, do you think I'd ever thought I'd be mayor? I never thought something like this was possible for someone like me. And the fact that I'm here shows proof that no matter who you are, no matter what neighborhood you're raised in, no matter what's going on in your life, you can do whatever you want, whatever your heart's desire. But also an important part of that is to stay actively engaged, to make sure you make your voices heard. And that's why we're here today, teaming up with the Commission on the Status of Women for San Francisco, working with Ignite, going around to all high schools, trying to make sure that young people are registered to vote. That's going to be important because once you get started down that path, our hope and what data has shown, it's pretty addictive. You want to do it, and you feel so empowered when you do. You walk around with your cue in San Francisco, you got your little red sticker, and you're like this, and then somebody might say, I'll give you some free ice cream because you voted today. Who knows what you might get? People are smiling at you all day just because of that red sticker, because they're proud of you. They're proud that you exercised your civic duty to make sure that your voice was heard. And that's why we're all here today at Gateway High School, formerly known as Benjamin Franklin Middle School. It's pretty great to be here. It's always, well, shoot, nowadays after the global pandemic, it's great to be anywhere. But it's really great to be here with all of you. And why am I wearing this bright suit, and why didn't I warn you to wear your sunglasses before I walked in the door? So many people are recognizing today is National Voter Registration Day, where we really highlight this and try to motivate people to register to vote. And in fact, you know, I love what women are doing. In light of what's happened in this country with the women's right to choose, it is very devastating to not just women, but to this country as a whole. And, you know, it is important that women come together. And part of coming together, there's a bunch of women around the country, celebrities, and Hillary Clinton and other people. We're all dressed alike today in these suits that come from Argent, which is a company that's here in San Francisco, to shine a light on Voter Registration Day, to get more women. Supermajority is the other organization that's working with Argent to bring more attention, more awareness for the need for people to register to vote. I think it's Voting Suits You is like the little hashtag where you're going to see all these famous people, and I'm going to be right there with them. But today is about encouragement. Today is about support. Today is about recognizing the need for all of us to do our part. So it's great to be here with all of you. I know it's like a lot of grown-up boring talk, because I know how it was when I was in high school. I didn't want to hear no grown-ups coming to my school trying to tell me nothing. But today, we're telling you something that's so important, so critical to your future. We are only here temporary. We are trying to prepare this city and this country, this planet, and what we need to do around the environment for you. And our hope is that you will also be the stewards of the country, of the planet, for the next generation. This is how it should be. And a lot of it starts with who we vote for. It starts with the ballot initiatives and all the other things that make it, that have an impact on our lives every single day. So I want to thank all of you, and I want to bring up the next speaker today who really has taken this and run with this. Ignite the Vote. Ignite has been this wonderful organization that helps promote, support, and train women to run for office, but Kimberly Ellis has been a big part of doing that through a number of programs as well. So this is it's like a perfect marriage. Two great partners, two great advocates. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director of the Commission on the Status of Women for the City and County of San Francisco, Kimberly Ellis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I like to say she's redefining 45 as the 45th mayor of San Francisco. We all are. I want to give a special acknowledgement. I know today is all about voter registration day. It's all about getting more women, young women, non-binary registered to vote. But I also want to give a special shout out to the men and the boys who are in the room today. I want to hearken back to something that our mayor said, and that is that what we are experiencing today in this country and quite frankly all across this world really is going to take all of us supporting one another in every way that we can. And the research is very clear that when you have more women and more young girls and non-binary active and engaged and participating in all parts of society, it helps everyone, including boys and men. And so I really want to thank the boys and men who are here today, who understand the importance of showing up and supporting our women, our girls, and our non-binary. It's really important. We need you as allies and as partners, and really excited to have you here. So good afternoon again, and happy National Voter Registration Day. Today is a civic day of celebration for our democracy and the perfect opportunity to officially launch the Department on the Status of Women's new Civic Engagement and Political Empowerment Service Area. National Voter Registration Day was created more than a decade ago with the purpose of bringing more awareness to the fact that 1 in 4 eligible voters in this country is not registered to vote. We know that benefiting from democracy only occurs if citizens and residents are active, engaged, and educated to leverage the tools available to make an impact in their communities. And our partnership with Ignite and the Ignite the Vote campaign is a critical step in ensuring Gen Z, and especially Gen Z women, can influence decisions that have a direct impact on our lives and our livelihoods. We know that when young people, young women, and people of color turn out to vote, change happens. DOSW is thrilled to begin providing new services in the area of civic engagement and political empowerment through a host of trainings, educational workshops, and public service campaigns, with the goals of getting women, girls, and gender non-binary people organized, registered to vote, educated on critical issues, and actively participating in all levels of government. San Francisco is known for being a trailblazing city that sets the tone, the tenor, and the direction for other cities and states to follow. And today, San Francisco is setting the stage for thousands of young people to cast their first ballots in the upcoming midterm election, and in the process, help to create a generation of lifelong voters. Today's Department on the Status of Women is informed by data and infused with confidence, conviction, and clarity of purpose. We are deeply grateful to the mayor for her bold vision of creating a city that invests deeply in improving the whole lives of women, girls, non-binary, and young people, including empowering them with the tools and resources to build pathways to healthy and prosperous futures, including and especially registering to vote. Thank you to Ignite. Thank you to all of you for coming out. Thank you to Gateway High School, and let's go ignite the vote in San Francisco.
Thank you so much, Director Ellis and Mayor Breed. Okay, 2 more speakers, Razan and Jemiah, if you'd like to join me up here. Both of these fabulous humans are leaders of our Ignite the Vote campaign across the city, and they're gonna share a little bit about who they are and why they're doing this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jemiah, and I'm currently a junior at Gateway High School and Ignite the Vote youth leader. The reason why I became an Ignite the Vote youth leader was to help encourage my peers to vote and to help get more youth engagement when it comes to topics as voting and why we should vote, and even learning the history of voting. It is important for every youth to realize that they have a voice and that there's political power that lies in every single youth. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Razan. Oh. Hi, my name is Razan. I'm also a junior at Gateway High School, and I'm also an Ignite to Vote leader. I'm an Ignite to Vote leader because I want to teach more youth in high school about voting so when they turn 18, they know what to do. In the past, I never learned about the registration or voting process, so when I saw the opportunity to be an Ignite to Vote leader, I decided to apply. Teaching my peers about how voting is important and how collectively as a group we can make an impact on the decisions in society is important to me because I want everyone to know that they have a say in our futures. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for being here all today. We are going to take our photo, and then I think we are not going to have any Q&A, but we will hang out for a little bit if folks have any specific questions. So are we ready for our photo? Yes. Okay. Camille, how would you like to